good friend Jesus
In
Cudero.
a few minutes you will be. On the part of the Senate, the Bicameral Conference Committee and the disagreeing provisions of Senate Bill number 2669 and House Bill number 6633 is hereby called to order. Chair would like to recognize the presence of the distinguished author and sponsor of the bill on the floor, Senator Gordon. On the part of the Senate, we have a quorum.
On the part of the House, I'd like to recognize the Assistant Minority Floor Leader, Congressman Roilo Golez. We're ready to proceed. Justice and Human Rights po. Refer there.
Secondary committee, sir.
Yes.
For the record, the respective secretariats of both the House and the Senate, taking into consideration inputs from the International Committee of the Red Cross, came up with a reconciled version of the bill for discussion purposes. May I suggest to the House panel, with the permission of Senator Gordon as well, that we use this as the working draft for our discussions.
No objections.
Chair would also like to, with the chair still here until the chair's JBC meeting, would like to assign to the hard-working at wala pang tulog na Senator Gordon the chores of presiding over the committee insofar as this measure is concerned for purposes of the Bicameral Conference Committee, because the chair recognizes that this is the baby of Senator Gordon. And in fact, during the initial hearings of this bill, it was heard by Senator Gordon when he was still chair of the committee that principally handled these measures in the previous Congresses. So the chair would like, for the record, and for the information of our House counterparts, chair would like to turn over the presiding duties to Senator Gordon while his eyes are still open.
In view of the necessity of my chairman to attend to his duties as JBC chair, I reluctantly accept this position once again. Based on the agreements, and I'd like to say good morning to our friends here, especially Roilo Golez, who's a fellow Red Crosser, and Aaron Tanyada, who's a human rights advocate. I think we have the working draft here. How would you like to go about it, line by line, or would you like to go it? I have a matrix here. I don't know if you've been supplied with the matrix.
Yes, we've been supplied with the matrix. I think Congressman Golez would like to just raise certain minor points.
Sure.
Yes, well, I'm sorry I just saw this reconciled draft, and I didn't expect this to be the discussion draft. I was expecting that the matrix will be the one used. I just have a few concerns, and if we can jump very quickly, Mr. Chairman. On page 17 of the matrix, the decision to remove the word pharmacological. I understand that this is already subsumed under physical. I just would like to make sure, because pharmacology is defined as the branch of medicine concerned with the uses, effects, and modes of action of drugs. And we all know that drugs can be used as a means of torture, also as a means of extracting involuntarily information from a subject. So I'm just concerned that the removal of the word pharmacological might diminish the meaning of torture. I understand that the anti-torture law is already going to be passed. But we know from experience that we can never say it's over until it is over, as far as legislation is concerned. The other one is on page 33, but I understand this has been already taken up in this working draft that we have, the reconciled version, which is the definition of the Senate of genocide, where killing one may be considered genocide already. Page 33 of the matrix. Killing one is to be considered as genocide already. I think, but I understand this has been removed in the reconciled version, using killing members of the group. In fact, if you ask me, members should also be modified, because 2 or 3 can still be considered members. But I think I can live with the word members of the group, with the definition of genocide. But killing one, in my opinion, is by no means to be considered genocide.
I quite agree with the points of Senator Golez insofar as killing one or members of the group should be retained. I think that's true to the word genocide, because it's still going against the intent to destroy a national, ethical, racial. Sometimes you have an isolated situation, repeated acts, and one is seen and then he is. So I agree.
In fact, if we go back to history, for example, in the case of Vietnam, there is the very famous, infamous My Lai incident.
Yeah.
That by no means can be considered genocide. That is a massacre, but not a genocide.
Mr.
It
Chair.
was never considered genocide. Genocide would be the incidents that we read about in the Balkans in the 90s.
And the Serbians and the Bosnians.
Bosnians, and then in the Sudan, in some African countries.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
Without objecting to the phraseology used in the reconciled version, which is killing members of the group, if the fear of Congressman Golez is that just killing one person might be construed as genocide and therefore we're changing the definition, since we're using members of the group, do we take it to understand as well that it is still possible